Hello, everyone. We are very grateful that we had the opportunity to participate together in this new format that is going to bring us new opportunities, new things that we are going to remember. It's a safe space that we are going to share what is happening through our experiences, what is happening through our minds, and also like inviting every single Sunday everyone to this space. In this case, we have Ed, one of our participants, who lovely decided to create this new experiment, which he calls Raw University. Ed is going to let you know exactly what it's about, and welcome to you, Ed.
Thank you very much, Seth. Hello, I'm Ed, Edward Gregory. I'm going to kind of give this introductory lecture. So the course that I've kind of put together, I'm calling Awakening the Adept, or the Path of the Adept. Maybe I'm still kind of like lots of it's up in the air in the planning phase, because got lots to go through. But that's the whole point. The point is to be trying to get people who have put a lot of time and passion into understanding the law of one material. It's about trying to get us to a place where we're actually doing the adept work that Ra speaks about, that the channeling of infinite infinity and infinite intelligence into the path of the white magician really is my ultimate goal. Now I've written out a full kind of course that I'd hope people would be up for undertaking, but I don't want to feel like my knowledge is whatever more important than anyone else's. So I'd actually also be up for taking people who might want to do specific companion lectures, like a guest lecturer kind of thing for any of the subjects on the course that I've done. So I'd invite anybody to contact me if they feel that that's something they would want to do. Other than that, don't worry, there won't be homework, and I haven't got any kind of accreditation, there won't be an award, but I hope that the course itself will at least give us an endpoint, a goal to achieve when bringing everyone into the fourth density, when we're trying to kind of move towards this formation of a social memory complex and doing the great work. So that's what I hope to kind of give us a little kind of background in. Now, the way I hope to do this is to basically kind of go through it from many different kind of angles and perspectives. So every single part of it, I'm going to keep heavily tied to the Ra contact and the Ra material and the law of one. Every single part of my kind of philosophy, as it were, is tied into Ra's framework. So whatever information I bring in, I will be bringing it directly to how Ra describes the universe and our path in it. But that being said, I hope to use lots of actual kind of cutting edge scientific information, as well as ancient esoteric science and traditions that to hopefully kind of create like a practical system by which we can all kind of participate in doing the work together, to try to kind of approach planetary service and adepthood in the way that Ra describes. So that's kind of my whole kind of idea anyway. So I hope that some of you would want to join me on doing it. The structure that I've got at the minute is 7 different modules. I've got an 8th one, but it's a bit kind of strange. It's more of a kind of case study that brings everything together. But so though in theory, it could be the next 6 or 7 months, one lecture a month, which is good because that'll give me a lot of time to research it and really go deep dive into the information and bring in lots and lots of resources. Because one of the things I love about the raw material myself is how the correspondence all fit together. It really is the law of one, because everything fits in. There's only one thing, and how I will be trying to teach the course is by bringing everything back to the raw material and that one original thought, with the like I said, the practical application also being paramount in what I'm trying to achieve. So on to kind of my plan for the courses. So first off, a little bit about me. Why would any of you want to pay any attention to what that weird guy is saying? So I thought I'd give you a little kind of breakdown of bits and bobs that I've done in my life that might make it more clear why I feel like giving a course at this kind of level would be a good idea. So basically, I've been doing this kind of seeking this path, this philosophical, trying to understand the universe since forever. Basically, since I was a child. I was one of those kids that was always asking why, how, why, and eventually you're going to get to a point where people just have to say, well, that's just what God did. So I then ended up thinking, okay, so God has the answers. So I started going to church at a very young age on my own, no parents, just me, determined to learn about the universe. And after a while, I kind of became disillusioned, as it were, and I went into more scientific studies to try and find these answers to explain the universe. So I have a master's in pharmacology and molecular genetics from King's College London. I chose those specific fields because of the fact that they really, between the two of them, show how life works from every angle. So, I really found it an incredible thing. But the me looking for answers and some philosophical truth to live by, strangely, I was surprised, but science doesn't really know as much as you might think. In fact, I was really quite shocked at how little it does know and how little actual solid answers it can give. So, once again, that led me back to the path of seeking, trying to find bigger philosophical answers. So why these things happen. So I built myself a little shack, which is the ramshackled place that I live in. And I basically sat here for the past 5 or 6 years, I suppose it's got to be. And I've done nothing but, the most time that I'm awake, shovel in philosophical, magical, alchemical literature, channeled material, anything I can find that might give me some little fragments of truth. And I have literally just shoveled it into my face as quickly as I could the entire time period that I've been on this path, as it were. So I've kind of covered quite a lot. And then, because of my scientific background, when I was learning these things, I approached each part as like a literary review, where I read all of the relevant information. I did all of the workings out and the math, as it were. And then I tested and I experimented for myself. I'm a firm believer that the only real objective proof anyone can get about spiritual things is from subjective proof. You have to experience it yourself to understand it. You can't take someone's word for it. So that is what I went out to do. Every single thing that I have done, I've done from a scientific viewpoint, through a scientific lens, to try to make sure that my data wasn't skewed, that I wasn't kind of, lying to myself in some weird little whatever. So, I've tried lots and lots and lots of different spiritual and energetic processes, some of which I've listed here. Astral projection. I've spoken to quite a few dead people. Remote viewing. I did lots of automatic writing and drawing a while ago. I have a very healthy tulpamancer that I have a very healthy tulpa that I have had for many years. I love my little gink. I have studied lots of comparative theosophy and comparative religious studies. I basically read most of the different, religious documents and doctrines that you could name. And most recently, I've started to channel. Hopefully, fingers crossed, more to that to come. But other than that, I spent a lot of time studying magical and alchemical practices. I firmly believe there is a science to it that we, as coming into the fourth density, are going to find as useful as our phone or any other kind of aspect of modern life. It's going to become something that is fundamental to how we live. So I would like to put us, Law of One, Ra heads ahead of the curve by trying to kind of bring all of the information together into something that hopefully we can use for adepthood. Anyway, let me go on. Don't really like talking about myself, so there you go. That's what you're getting. From here on out, we will be talking about the actual course itself. So this is the overview for Module 1, which I call the Physics of the Illusion. So this is basically going to be a study of panpsychism and pantheism, and how quantum physics and the observer effect don't really explain the universe we live in, but they do very, very much connect up and align with what Ra said in many, many ways. So I've kind of gone through and I found some really good connections between not just me. There's others have done the same, but I was planning on starting off with keeping it as the Ra cosmology model. Will, love, light. The way that he describes the kind of creation, and then keeping with that model, applying it to all of the other kind of scientific concepts that we'll be using. So another thing that I really very, very passionate about is sacred geometry, and how the patterns and the sacred geometric systems, the scale invariants across the whole universe, it convinces me that pattern is sacred. Is we are looking at the patterning of God, and how the universe comes from very, very simple rules that expand out to make everything exactly like, love, light, will, love, light. There's very simple rules that can lead to unbelievable complexity. So I'll be trying to tie in things like quantum fields and things like the observer effect and quantum entanglement. Also things like the 0-point energy field, and how the densities are heavily linked to the kind of the stages of matter and the steps that consciousness, being the primal base material that everything is made out of, like the all is mind kind of principle. I'll be trying to show that we are just working with those quantum and those structured energies, and the whole universe as we know it works on those same rules. So I'll be bringing in other people's work, rather than I'll be bringing very cutting edge, like nowadays science. Nassim Hariri, I can never say his name. His work will be referenced quite a lot, but I'll also bring it back to some of the other stuff, some of the stuff that Ra mentioned. So Dewey B. Lawson's reciprocal system, because I find that very, very helpful for explaining space-time and time-space. And then the universal one, so the idea that ether is the fundamental building block that creates everything, and that the nexus of consciousness is the points that make atoms, that make matter. Yes, there'll be lots of other aspects that I'll try to bring into it. It's a very, very complex subject, so I really hope that that you're going to enjoy it. There's lots to it. How the Platonic solids meet up with the standard model of a particle physics. How the observer effect is directly connected to panpsychism and the idea that everything is awareness, exactly how Ra describes. And then the 0-point energy and what Ra describes as the plenum. Then the idea that there's enough energy in a cubic inch of vacuum to power the whole planet. There's all these different things that once again tie in with Ra, but science is only just finding out and describing right now. So, yes. So there's lots and lots of exciting things to be brought into this. But like I said, I'd also like to bring back to old concepts and religions and esoteric things. So the idea of Buddhism and Hermeticism and the Vedic teachings, all saying this same idea that consciousness is the building block that makes the universe, and that the illusory sense of matter as we know it is all just a function of consciousness. Now, another thing that I'm very interested in is the microcosm duality. You know, what Ra describes as it being a holographic universe. So inside all of us, there is the entire universe reflected. That idea has been around for a very, very long time. The ancient Druids used to believe it. It's a very, very long held belief. But the way that Ra describes it, and the fractal way that science is discovering how we interact with the universe around us, I'm fairly certain that the fractal bridge of microcosm to macrocosm will be shown at one point, because we are creator. And, you know, how can we be creator and not be connected to everything? So, on to module 2. This one is more about consciousness, because I don't know whether you guys know, but consciousness is very, very, very little understood about it by actual science. There's lots of competing theories, but none of them really have got it spot on yet. This is one of the reasons why I like bringing science into the raw material conversation, because when you actually start looking at the really cutting edge science papers that are coming out now, they're sounding more like a cult paste, like books every day. They are proving things that 10 years ago everyone would have laughed out of a journal. And you know, the way that these things work is quite incredible, but it also shows exactly how incredible we are. So one of the things that I'll be talking about is a kind of, I suppose, my little pet theory, I suppose, that any kind of vibrational aspects of atoms, of microbiological structures, causes vibration into an ether, into a kind of substrate that is then stored and saved as the Akashic record. So consciousness is essentially that vibration, that the awareness changed into some kind of vibrational output that is then perceived. So that's my kind of theory that I hope you'll see links to as we go on. But don't worry, I'm not going to be like, oh, my stuff. I'm going to be keeping it to real known science and theories that are being worked at the minute. So I'll be talking about the densities and how a consciousness and awareness exists at all levels, how a single atom is a living thing, as a crystal is a living thing, a plant is a living thing, and show how they all step one on top of another into giving us life and, you know, the universe of awareness that it is. I'll delve into the quantum consciousness theory of Penrose and Hameroff, where we're talking about actual quantum biological components connecting up to far, far bigger intelligence, where the brain basically works as a filter to reduce the amount of understanding that we have. So that explains the veil. So all of these things. And then when you start talking about possibility, probability, future vortexes, and how our choice matters, how Rod describes our us making a choice of a polarity is fundamental to how the universe works. That's because free will is the thing, and us making choices is the thing that collapses the waveform that makes the universe into the structure that it is. So there's once again lots to this module, but hopefully I'll be able to get it in a way that's fun and informative, and connecting the dots rather than making everyone's brain dribble out their ears. So this will also kind of link into other aspects and introduce ideas like the Akashic record or Jung's collective unconscious, which I'll be talking about during the AI section as well, near the end. then once again, like I said a second ago, the idea that polarity is the thing that drives not just our evolution but the universe. Every single choice you make sets the past in a set pattern forever. That is us being creators. But then also looking at the way that we're actually existing in a multi-dimensional sense now, that the fourth density will be opening up our consciousness to ways of understanding the universe that we didn't know before. So once again, I'm hoping that by trying to understand what we know about consciousness at this point, we'll be able to prepare ourselves more for the crossover that may well be coming. So moving on to the next module, this one I call the Living Temple. This one basically tries to describe how the mind-body-spirit complex work together. So the idea of the energy bodies and that you've got a nested field, like you've got nested fields layered on top of one another that give you the physical form that you know. Then I'll be bringing this down to quantum biology and the idea that DNA is an antenna that locks your specific consciousness to your body. Then we'll be talking about the evolution of DNA, maybe cosmically, because there's lots of evidence that it's everywhere, via something called the phantom DNA effect. And I'm going to heavily kind of talk about morphogenic fields because they're incredible. And in my opinion, once again, they show exactly what Ra talks about of we are created from infinite intelligence and infinite infinity. There is absolutely no pattern to build a human in the DNA. It is a bioelectric template that is projected onto you, and your cells grow to that template. So, incredibly interesting stuff. So, this will then get into, like I said earlier, this idea that vibration of atoms, the core, the most fundamental point, is the thing that is the crossover between reality and the matter that we understand and the actual consciousness that everything is made from. The 0 point energy, the way that proteins interact with quantum effects as well. So we're going to. I'm very big on the fact that quantum biology is going to be the next big field, where you get specific proteins that make very, very small enclosed spaces inside that act as receivers or transmitters for subatomic and unmeasurable particles, types of energy that we don't know how to measure with physical tools. I'm going to get into another one of my own personal theories, which is about mechanotransduction, which is a process of vibration being passed in to affect DNA expression, which would then tie in with us, talking badly of ourselves or feeling something negative, and it having a negative effect on the DNA expression and the health of cells from the baseline all the way up. So the kind of the real core of how sacred healing and sound vibratory healing works at a physical level. So on to module 4. This is more talking about the energetic body. So that was the last one, was about the biology of how the you that you can experience and feel is linked to all of these incredible far wider things. In this one, I'm going to talk more about the energies that flow through the body that we can control. So I'll go through the actual kind of the systems that make up the chakras and the meridians, and also the sephiroth from the Hermetic tree. I'm going to talk about the pranic flow and chi, and how we move energy through our body in many different ways, rather than just the chemical way that science shows. But with science, I'm going to bring it to the latest discovery of biophotons and the amount of light that we do actually produce out. that I'm going to then be linking to other concepts like, projecting the rays, or the actual different energy bodies. These biophoton emissions are linked to exactly the same, or do exactly the same things that Ra describes. So hopefully by this point in the course, we'd have had a really good sense of this whole kind of idea that time and space are an illusion, and that you are this incredible, powerful entity. So hopefully by this point, we'll be actually getting to work on feeling and using energies working, in our body, be able to kind of have awareness of them. Now, one of the things that I think that we all should be doing more of is understanding how the planets and the stars, the astrological symbols, how they constellations, how those huge bodies of energy affect our body, affect the animal that we are. Now, I assume people have heard of kymatics, which is the process of where you put a vibration through a medium, you will get specific shapes formed by that vibration. We are made of water. We vibrate. So these energies, like planets, the other planets moving past, the huge rocks that are going to fly past very, very soon, all of these things affect us. So I hope to kind of show how, and maybe some ways of kind of avoiding it or moving forwards, like heart coherence, the idea that you can actually kind of connect to the 0 point energy field, you can connect to the planet, you can connect to basically the universe purely through your heart. It's the central point of the field. It's the part that doesn't have any force because it's free. It's unlimited. So we'll be talking about how emotions and the actual harmonization of the energy fields inside us are so important for our health, and not only that, but for the work coming ahead to actually do the planetary stewardship and to heal and to this is the core and the bones of how we're going to start doing that work after. Yes, that's module 4. Module 5 is when we actually kind of start looking at doing that work. So the art of magic manifestation. So for this one, basically, I want to kind of look at lots and lots of different techniques and lots of different traditions and processes. I want to, once again, as always with everything, bring it back directly to all of the things that Ra says. Ra says so many tiny little tidbits here and there about magic. And if you don't know what you're looking for and you don't know, then you might think it's whatever else, but there's so much in there. We need to be pulling that together. We need to be finding ways of taking what other people have known and had forever, The Secret and other, things, and we need to find ways of bringing it into the fourth density. Because, like I said, this is how our life's going to be working. In a couple of generations. So why not start this now? The idea that a ritual or a spell is a vibrational program that you put out into the universe, and it changes how reality works so that those things come back. Remember, we are with our thoughts we create the world, right? We imagine the illusion. So rituals and spells are just kind of ways of hacking that, of being able to put in the things that our conscious mind wants, rather than needing the subconscious, the God part to do it for us. So also I really like the idea that where something Ra talks about, where you need very specific people to do very specific jobs in a magical circle, and finding your crystalline use and path. There's lots and lots to it. Like I said, Ra puts lots and lots of little magical hints here and there. So I'm really quite excited about this whole part of the course. Some of the things that I'm planning on going through is the silver mind control technique. Now, one of the reasons I'm going to be talking about this isn't just because of the manifestation aspect that it's renowned for, but it's because Carla adapted the silver mind control process for when she was channeling. So, uh, I think it's a very kind of a good process to learn, and there's lots and lots of little skills in there. So I was going to use that, but what the main things I was going to bring it back to from my own experience of magic and these things is chaos magic, shamanism, and hermeticism. If you want a more kind of ceremonial end, the chaos magic thing I think works so wonderfully with the Law of One, because essentially the whole point of it is we are creator. We don't need demons and angels and gods and whatever else to power things for us. No, we are creator. So there's so many little things inside chaos magic that I would love to share with people and to kind of show how it applies to Ra in the biggest sense. Hermetics, I did another presentation with the Red Cord a little while ago, where I tried to make the Ra-metic tree, because basically everything, the way that Ra describes the energy centers, the way all of it can be taken as applicable to the tree. In fact, I'd say that quite a few of the things that he talks about aren't really, there's no real good way of understanding them unless you go to the tree. But that's just my thoughts. I have lots of kind of shamanic kind of and druidic experiences over my my path, so I'd hope to share them. The understanding of our place in nature and connection to elemental and nature spirits. That once again, I see those as the elements that make the matter. Like Ross said, the first density entities. Anyway, I digress. The point is, there is lots and lots in here. So, in theory, I could do a whole course about this afterwards, maybe if anybody wanted to. But the idea being that by us all learning very similar techniques, us testing them, and like I said, everything should be an experiment. Nothing should be taken as verbatim as truth. I don't believe that stuff. I say that you take in information, you take in all the points of view, all the perspectives, and then you do the tests yourself. And you make conclusions based on the evidence that you gather. Now, one of the things that I really want to do is I want people like us, as an outcome for this course, is that we have similar sets of understood experiences that would then lead to a more harmonious and connected social memory complex moving forwards after the course. So then this is quite an important one really for me. This is the archetypes, polarity, and psychology. So this one is I'm going to heavily bring down to Jung archetypes and the shadow work, and how the shadow work really is like cognitive behavioral therapy, but done from a spiritual way. I'm going to be talking about the Ra's tarot and Ra's version of the tarot with the mind, body, spirit paths of ascension, and obviously the same thing, because Ra said, you see the tarot or the 22 paths on the tree, which are the same thing. So I have a process for creating a personal hermetic tree that then gives you very specific paths and very specific energies to balance. Know yourself, no other self, be creator, right? That's the plan. So yeah, there's I've kind of touched on that kind of thing, but the main outcome of this, really, when you look at it, is this developing the daily practice of just seeing the creator in all things, knowing that every single aspect of your life is God interacting with God. That those archetypes that are at play, they're only archetypical because those are the working parts, the cogs. So, and why polarity is so important. I feel that this is a very, very important one for any kind of developing a magical system to incorporate. And the quote channeling that we read on Friday said that the best types of magical practices to take on are ones where you lean into the pointy bit. Doing the shadow work it's hard on the self, but it's important and it's rewarding, and hopefully we'll be able to kind of help each other through it if we're doing this as a budding social memory complex of magicians. So this is the final kind of unit that I have set up at the minute. Like I said, I have some more plans, but this is the kind of final part. This is basically kind of like looking at what is the adept work. What are we wanting to be doing with these things? These all this information that we've gathered and all these techniques that we've learned and practiced. So, what will our little social memory complex want to achieve? So, you know, I myself am committed to service to other, to try to make the human race happier, better. So, you know, the idea of us working to harmonize and connect the entire planet, the people, the Gaia herself, trying to be that bridge that brings people to spiritual understanding, you know, as well as the actual energies that the planet needs us to work with for her. You know, so I'm going to try to bring in all of the different aspects that we've talked about, from the non-duality, the panpsychism, through the processes, the microtubules and biology, into the act of pushing your energy outwards to change reality, and then try to actually create rituals ourselves. So for the kind of work we hope to do, I personally am working on trying to do grid work at the minute, because I think that there's a portal to space just up there that I need to kind of sort out, and obviously the planetary healing, the praying to stop the wars and try to like you know, reduce the bellicosity, do all the things that, you know, the path of the adept was designed for us to do. Now, another thing that I had mentioned before is one of my favorite kind of parts of this whole thing is tulpomancy, and the idea of creating and crafting thought forms and servitors to do work, to be little energetic allies or magical helpers that can go and actually perform these tasks, like AI bots, but in a metaphysical way rather than a physical. So that's another thing that I'm really hoping to kind of get through, because once again, that is you being creator. You are essentially creating an entity. So then also going to talk about channeling, which, you know, Ashley on the call has wonderfully taught me from the ground up, step by step, the same way that Carla did it. We've followed the intensive course and the channeling handbook. So, you know, lots of challenging. We do lots of challenging around here. So, but the idea that all of these skills, not just channeling, but pretty much every single thing that we will be doing, they're not magical things that you need to be born doing it, or that I could never do that. I firmly believe that every single human being is capable of doing any of these things, and it just comes down to training and commitment, and any of these things that you might want to achieve are achievable. So yeah, like I said, I'd re-go over how the silver mind control technique is used. Because I've described how it was used before, how Carla uses it in this way, and then obviously, last but not least, the actual kind of the crux of forming a social memory complex, the actual kind of the nuts and bolts, the how are we going to do this? How are our consciousnesses going to fit together? How is telepathy going to connect our heart chakras and make the whole thing work? So, lots to think about as an adept, lots of paths to go down, but the idea is here that we're walking the path to get there. You know, I don't claim to be an adept, although I have done some adept work. I'm sure that some of you are adept, and I'm more than happy to let you come and do some lectures, like I said. I do feel that as seekers who follow the law of one, that this is something that we should want to be moving towards. And I hope that my little kind of course will give us give us that opportunity. So my closing parts, just to say, is that Ryu is not set, stuffy, read this book, blah blah blah. I want it to be a living, growing, changing continuum. Something that I can that people can say, oh look, I found this science paper, or I've read this spiritual book, and it doesn't matter what you bring to the table. It's always going to slot into the little framework that we've created. Yes, and this is another thing that I really can't get across enough. The whole point of all of this is for us individually, each person involved, to explore what it means to be human, to explore what consciousness is, to really understand non-duality and unity, to a place where we grow and evolve because of the things that we've learned on this course. So, like I said, I'm a firm believer in the scientific lens, the scientific process. Don't get me wrong, not the hugest fan of science always, but the process is sound. And obviously, this is not the density of knowing, but we're going into fourth density, so there's got to be some knowing coming. And arguably, science is going to be a good way of knowing those, of finding those things. So, I see that science is just another tool for a philosopher. Same as magic, same as contemplation, meditation, prayer. Science is no different. And I think that all of those things, every single part of it, should be culminated to show us that we are creator. So you are creator. Let's all act like it, right? That's the end of my presentation. I hope I've kind of sold it. I don't know how long I was going on for, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ed. Thank you for everyone to hearing. Is there anyone here who want to have a question or who want to clarify anything, or is there something that is on the air that maybe you want to express to Ed? Ashley, go ahead. And then Dan.
Just wanted to say thank you, Ed, for sharing this gift from your heart with us. I can feel like the love and service energy that you bring behind it all. And I do appreciate that you're looking to the future and you're seeing that, okay, this is how we are for now, but we are moving to fourth density where all of these, we call them adept abilities and practices are in use, but they're going to be the norm in fourth density. And we're already eclipsing 4D in real time. So I think it's so special to maybe bring other selves who don't have a guide or a central place to tap into their fourth density beingness to begin to do that. And if they haven't thought about doing that, then now it would be a good time to jump into it, because these may seem fringe now, but no, this is the normal for us to channel our higher self, to perceive the essence of beings non-physically, to connect with our stellar family and our family of plants and animals. It's the norm for us to be this magical being. So thank you for bringing that portion of it to the Law of One community. Thank you.
I'm so glad that you get it, because that's exactly my mindset on it all. I feel that we are in a very, as reading the Law of One, studying it for all this time, I feel that we're in a really kind of incredible position. Something that we could be on the leading edge of how the planet evolves, how consciousness evolves. And yeah, I feel like we should be doing something. That's all.
And Dan, you are now the next.
Yeah, I don't have a question other than, I can't wait to see the next session. But yeah, great job, man. you just came through, and I really clicked and vibed with everything you said. Like this is wow, like it's amazing. So I just want to express that. Thank you.
Love you, dude. You're so awesome. Thank you.
And there is also Matt and Danielle who are writing to you that you did a great job, and that
Oh.
the curriculum you exposed today is amazing, and it's love of they love the fusion of the multiple disciplines. So, like there is also people behind that write you things. So just wanted to have that clear.
That's amazing. Thank you, guys. Love you.
And again, just to make a recap, what we have, what Ed says today. First of all, he just did a small introduction what is going to happen the next couple of months. So as we said before, this is an exploratory meeting, chat, connection space that we are holding. Everyone can join these talks, and if you have ideas, please let us know so we can try to find time for your idea, for what you want to express, or even if you have a kind of situationship or a kind of, I don't know, catalyst that is happening to your life. We as a community want to support each other, and here is not someone like has more importance or less important. We are all the same, and we are all able to help each other. After that, what else also did, we know a little bit more about Ed, his background, what he was doing, why is he today. We have a really lovely part conversations with Ed before, and he was super nervous about doing this today, and you did it awesome. Thank you also for the ones who are not American English speakers or other speakers like that, not the mother language is English. I think today was really clear that to hear what you were saying and also supporting with the images. And after his introduction, what Ed did as well was giving us an overview of what is going to be these modules that he was working on. The first one was the physics of the illusion. The second one, crystallizing consciousness. The third one, the living temple that our bodies are. The fourth one, the energetic body. The fifth one, the art of magic and manifestation. And the sixth one, the archetypes, polarity, and psychology. And the seventh is the path of an adept. So all these topics are going to happen sooner or later. Is anything else that you want to add, Ed? Or is anyone else again in the background that want to say something?
Well, the only thing I was going to say is I don't claim to be like an expert. I'm not. I don't want to claim to be better or know stuff or whatever else. I'm just passionate, and I want answers. I want to know stuff. So the whole path of the hermit, the kind of removing myself from society and just filling my brain with as much as I can learn. It's a service to self thing, unless I have the ability to share that knowledge back. I haven't learned all of this just for me. I've learned this for all of us, for the creator. I only want to be of service. So I don't want to think of myself as like, no. And anyone else that has like their own opinions, their own models that they'd like to talk about, that they'd like to bring to the fray, I'm more than happy to incorporate, to have guest lecturers or any other kind of input. And obviously, like Quo always says, anything that I say that doesn't resonate, throw it in the bin. Seriously, don't worry about it. It's okay. Other than that, I look forward to seeing you all later.
Thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you next time.